Good morning, TGIF. I'm hoping that you're going to have a wonderful weekend. Today is tip 3 of the 5-part series. Tip number 1 was the calendar emailed once you signed up for the newsletter. There's an update on that. The calendar was rather large, and some people were experiencing difficulty downloading it. So if you are one of those people and still have not gotten the calendar from me, shoot me over an email, hello@brookielynsbungalow.com. You can get to my email or contact me through my website at brookielynsbungalow.com, and I'll get you that calendar over, of course, for free, and in a better downloadable format that doesn't break your whole computer. So tip number 1 was the calendar that you were automatically emailed. Tip number 2 was talking about posting being educational. And tip number 3 is, let's see, the I in EIEIO. As I've told others who have been along this journey since tip 1, EIEIO is just an anagram I came up with to remember how to post and what to post on a weekly basis. And my calendar is full of EIEIO. Yesterday we learned about how to post educational posts that were effective and drove traffic back to your workshops. And today we are going to learn about I, which is informative. All your posts online need to be educational and informative, and then we'll talk about the E and the I, the second E and I, tomorrow and the next day. But 90% of your posts need to be EIEIO, and we're learning about the I today. Informative just means providing useful or interesting information. That seems so simple, and I hope that it is very simple. And we're going to talk about what useful and interesting information is, and then we're going to post about it. What is useful information? That's just your location, your address, your dates, your times. Hey guys, just so you know, we have a whole calendar of events planned over the next 3 months. To register and read all about it, please click the link below, and feel free to register for any and all. So you can just post a simple Facebook post that tells people how to register. I get a lot of questions still to this day. How do I register for your workshops? So I try to post that periodically throughout the week. Your pricing, just say, hey, did you know our workshops range in price from $10 up to $75? You can talk about the featured products in your workshops. Some of you sell Annie Sloan chalk paint or heirloom traditions, and you can just talk about how you feature those products in every one of your workshops. You can talk about the description of specific workshops, copy and paste those from your website. You can post your refund and rain-out policies, what's included in the price of tuition, discounts the night of the workshop. I like to post that. That's useful information so that it entices people to come to the workshop. So not only can they learn how to use our products, but they can also buy them at a discount price the night of the workshop. And then, of course, I love posting customer testimonies. People tell me, oh, that was so helpful. I really love that workshop. Look at my bunting banner on my mantle. Everybody asks me about it. They're always telling me awesome information, and I try to write those down and who said it and share those customer testimonies as individual posts. And if you have a picture, you can snag that from Facebook. That's always nice too. I also have customer testimonies, coincidentally, on my website so people can see that as well. But this is a good list of just what is the definition of useful information and how does that pertain to me, and specifically how does that pertain to my workshops and events. So all of this list could be individual posts that you can schedule out over time. What is interesting information? So we have useful and interesting. All of this is informative. Interesting to me and to my customers is and always has been, what do you mean I don't have to prime or prep my piece before I paint it? They always want to know information about that. So that's very interesting to them. It's intriguing. So posting about no priming and no prepping, if that's the type of product that you sell, that's really important. I like to tell people the history of milk paint and how it's the oldest paint ever, casein paint. And I also love talking about how it chips and distresses on its own, kind of has a mind of its own. That's very interesting information. People want to know the difference between synthetic and real hair brushes and what kind of paints to use with each. You can share informational article from a fellow retailer or a previous informative blog post of your own. This is very, very important. I don't know if you've ever been told this or not, but here's a bonus trick or tip. 80% of all of your blogging effort should be spent in the promotion of the blog and only 20% on writing it. So when you are blogging and that one blog post goes up, none of us are I'm not arrogant enough to think that everybody in the world that I wanted to see that post actually saw it. And the notion that, oh, people will just land on my website somehow and find it, that's just not going to happen. So I like to take previous blog posts and share them again over time, and that is perfectly fine. It's kind of like having a closet. You wear your shoes daily or multiple times a week, and nobody notices. So you need to treat your blog kind of as your closet and wear those things over and over again. Get more traction on them. And, you spent the time to write it, so you really need to make sure that people are spending the time to read it. And they can't read it if you're not sharing it multiple times over multiple platforms. So interesting information can come from your blog, and it can be old blogs. You can also share fellow retailers' blog posts that you like and find inspirational, because it's always nice to toot someone else's horn, not only for that retailer's sake, but also your followers see you scratching the back of others and think, man, that's a person I want to follow. That's a person that I want to be friends with, because they care about others, they're well read, and they aren't pompous and only sharing their own ideas. Because, collectively, more is better. So sharing other people's posts and tagging them and giving them credit just elevates you as an expert in your field. It doesn't diminish your expertise. It just shows that you're open to hearing other people's ideas and sharing other people's ideas. People really like that. So going back, you have practical information and you have ideas. Practical, just very basic information, dates, times, registration, featured products. And then what is interesting information, ideas, and information from your previous blogs and future ones. So let's talk about how to actually implement this real quick. Informational article. I went to, instead of sharing a previous post from myself, I'm going to show y'all how I'm sharing a post from the Junk Gypsy Paint blog. So let me get out of here and go over here. So I'm on my Facebook page, and I've opened up the Junk Gypsy website, and I'm going to go over here to the blog. And basically, I just found an article that I really liked that they had posted previously. And I really like this one particularly because I painted that. So I am still sharing something I did, but something that was featured on somebody else's blog, and it's an informational article. So I've already, or a blog post. So I'm going to click on that, and you see junkgypsy.com creates a new look. And it's just talking about how do you change or transform mundane into fabulous, and how to use our paints to do that. And then it features several retailers and how we updated some old pieces of furniture. So what I did is I copied and I pasted that from the link, went over to my Facebook page, and I posted it. This was last night, so I've posted several more times this morning. Okay, right here. So I copied and pasted that link right here into my post. I said something about the article. So learn to transform your flea market find with junk gypsy paint in an upcoming workshop. Notice how I said in an upcoming workshop, meaning mine. Read all about our colors and recommended usages here. Okay, featured them. Sign up for a workshop here. Put my link. I tagged the Junk Gypsy company, Junk Gypsy Paint, and then I used appropriate hashtags. Flea market find, furniture flipping, informative, DIY, how-to, workshops, learn, whoops, I did that twice, and information. So I used simple, appropriate hashtags. I tagged the people that I shared the posts from. I used my website and drove them to my workshops, and I'm just giving people information. Now, I also did a few other tricks here with Brookielynn's Bungalow Loves This. How do you change and transform mundane into something fabulous? So I like to call that hitching your wagon to a star. You want to share from a reputable source, and you want to share on a day that your information will be well received. So get your calendar out. What day of the week would you be most receptive to just plain old information, useful information or interesting information? Well, since you can't talk to me right now, I'm going to talk this out loud. Just have a little think aloud. I feel like the nitty-gritty days of the week when I am like in work mode the most, those days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's when I'm receptive to information, trying to see what the weekend's going to hold, planning out my calendar, trying to just see what else I have to do, checking things off the list, checking my email. I'm in work mode on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mondays, I'm not quite with it. Fridays, like today, in case you haven't noticed, I'm just fried. And Saturdays and Sundays are kind of like relaxing and do things that I want. So what I say is I like to post all my useful information on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's when I feel like my information will be most well received. So I come up here and I type in, or I write in rather, let's do cyan, information. So I'm sorry about my 2-year-old writing here. Info, and then once you write info above those two days, much better than I've done, remember that for tip number 1, education is most well received on Saturdays and Sundays. If you don't agree with me on that, you are more than welcome to write education on other days. You can post all this information daily, but for me, I try to keep it simple, stupid. I like to have a day of the week where I have a specific task and I can check it off the list. If you post education every day of the week and information every day of the week, you're going to get overwhelmed. This calendar's going to swallow you whole, and you're going to just put it in a closet and forget about it. So don't let this be difficult. I'm trying to make it super simple. Post educational material on Saturday and Sunday. Tie it back to your workshop. Post informational material on Tuesday, Thursday. Tie it back to your workshop. Use hashtags. Tag the people you're sharing. And use articles and information that have great pictures. I think that's it for tip number 3. And as always, if you're coming in on this tip series and you're just now hearing tip number 3 and you didn't get the full explanation on 1 and 2, this series will start over again probably in about 2 weeks, and you can listen to it again, or you can email me and find out when all my trainings are. So I hope you have a great weekend. I will talk to you tomorrow, and email me if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.